I'll admit the whole point of me going live and doing a podcast episode for season three is because someone suggested to me that I should go live and read a portion of my book, Reverse. And I was like, why don't I just make that my first podcast episode? So give me a second because I'm trying to add a comment on Facebook if I can. It's been a while since I've gone live on my phone. I don't see where it allowed me to add a comment, and I don't like that. The biggest issue is with going live, will I be able to, add people to the screen? That's going to be an issue. I know I can do it on TikTok. I know I can do it on Facebook. But how will that generate to YouTube? So thank y'all so much for joining me. Y'all are joining season 3, episode 1. Yes, I'm in season 3 of my podcast. I'm truly excited about this. And share with your people, let them know. So I am, for those of you who never been on my live before or never been on my podcast before, I am a classroom teacher. And as I said, I'm not a former, because I'm going through a transition right now. And matter of fact, the job I may not even be a teacher. We will see. This has been a process, but that's a story for another day. So I've spent 20 years in the classroom. I took a year off. I really felt like God was pushing me into being an author and being a publisher full time and doing some other things, which I did do. Nevertheless, I'm at the point right now where I'm looking for some type of employment while I'm working on my business and launching it. I am a 6-time self-published, six-time self-published author, and I'm going to share one of my books with you tonight. I started writing when I was 11 years old and been writing ever since. I am a mother. I am a podcaster, as you can see. I am a mentor. I have a group of girls who I mentor is about, I say 20, but I think it's 15. I have to go back and look at the numbers again. There's so much other stuff that I do, but that's not the reason why I jumped on here tonight. So what I love, and the reason why I went live on TikTok, I'm going live on TikTok on my tablet, live on Facebook on my phone, and live on Instagram live on YouTube. I did not go live on Instagram because Instagram, I don't get that interaction or the number of people logging on like I do on TikTok. So hopefully the numbers will come up a little bit more. So pretty much I want to talk about Reverse. A part of me feels like I should talk about Reverse first before I start reading, because I'm still waiting to see people log on. And I realize, even though this video, what's the word I want to say? Let me just go ahead and let's get into the book. So Reverse was published this year. I'll admit I've been working on this book since 2014. And what prompted me to write this book is the fact that I started realizing, after a student did a presentation with Reader's Response Journals, that Stephanie Meyer, who wrote the Twilight series, she shared in the presentation that Stephanie Meyer, the Twilight series was based on a set of dreams. So I said, Ryan, your dreams are very vivid. So this goes to show how back in the day this was. I had a BlackBerry. So on my BlackBerry, I would jot down my dreams. And this dream in particular just stuck with me. But I will admit, this dream came in the form of me running into a best friend at a class reunion. And we realized we had feelings for each other. And then I said, you know what, why start it at the class reunion? Why not start when they first fell in love? And I won't say fell in love. Donovan thinks he's in love with Monica. Monica's kind of like, we will see. So I'm going to start by reading the first chapter. Hopefully, Wafik, thank you for liking my live. Hopefully y'all will interact with me, have some questions for me. We can talk about the book along with my process and any other questions. So let's get into it. chapter 1, and matter of fact, let me make sure I get the right book, because this is my edit copy, so I'm about to read stuff that don't even exist. Give me a second. That was poor planning on my part. I just saw the book on my deck table and said this is the book, and it's not even the book. Give me a second. So we're starting with chapter 1, and I think I'm just going to read chapter 1, and then we're going to go from there. Lindsay, thank you for joining me again. Please bring any questions, any comments. I would love to hear from y'all. Brothers aren't cute. Monica James. Who is that caramel drop at your house? Inquired Sharice, craning her neck to get a better view. The summertime southern heat would cause anyone to retreat to where there is air conditioning, which is why I'm relieved Tia and Sharice called me over to them where they are chilling in the shade of their front porch. They always think I'm tripping because I willingly sweat. It isn't going down again. It is going down again between the James and Browns clans, which is why we are in my driveway battling it out in another game of 21. Obviously, they are nosy and fast, my mom would add. My mom thinks they know this boy is a little bit too much for her liking. Nevertheless, I need Sharice to spell it out. I don't see any caramel drop in sight. Although I need a quick break from the heat, D and I are in another tiebreaker, and the next game point wins. Who are you talking about? I peer up the street in both directions to see if Mr. Fine is walking away. Maybe I missed him. The only people I see are the boys, Donovan, his little brother, Nick, and my little brother, TJ, playing basketball in my driveway. Mr. Brown's car is parked in front of my house. They don't even bother parking in the driveway since they know at some point we will play ball. As I keep scanning my surroundings, I take in the rows of the single-story brick homes and long driveways and manicured lawns. I know she isn't talking about the younger boys. That would be gross. But who is she referring to? It can't be Donovan because he is my brother from another mother, and seeing him as any type of drop is disgusting. Are you blind? Tia scolds. That boy who's playing basketball in your driveway is fine. How can you not see that? From her position on the top step, she peers down at me like I lost my mind. I guess you're talking about D? I hunch my shoulders. Confused, I look back to where the boys are playing to try to see what they see in my homeboy. Right now, his shirt is sweaty because the sun is beaming down on the makeshift court. His sneakers are dirty, and the grimaces he makes as he wrestles the ball from my little brother don't look fine to me. He just looks like Donovan, the boy I've been friends with my whole life. While gawking at Sharice, who has the same dreamy look in her eyes as Tia, I figure out they are serious. Seriously bugging, but serious. They're really acting like this over D. Shaking my head in disbelief, I look back at the boys once more. Ill. Why are you tripping over D? Does the D stand for dang, he's fine? Tia gushes while fanning herself with her hands. The D is short for Donovan, I retort. Refusing to hide my disgust and shock, I gag. Is someone secretly recording a bloopers episode? Is Bob Saget here somewhere from America's Funniest Videos? Honey, the only one who was looking crazy or funny is you, Sharice heckles. You have Rico Suave with curly hair playing basketball at your house, and you're acting blind like you don't see how gorgeous he is? You definitely need glasses. There's no way I have all that, she gestures toward Donovan, at my house to just play basketball. Girl, I would foul him on every play, Tia resounds while high-fiving Sharice. No one would ever guess we are in elementary school from this conversation. We are heading to junior high soon. Girls shouldn't be boy crazy so early, according to my mother. There is nothing wrong with liking boys, but I have to admit Tia and Sharice go a little overboard with their fascination. They can't focus. When a cute boy is around, and sometimes all they talk about is boys. We never heard of him. Why isn't he your boyfriend? Sharice chastises while cutting her eyes at me as I pass by her and Tia on the porch after deciding to take a seat. Tia laughs so loudly that the boys momentarily stop playing basketball to see what is so funny. Sharice takes this as an opportunity to wave at the one she declares as one of the finest boys she has ever seen. D simply nods his head and goes back to play ball. I still don't catch what Sharice sees in D. In my eyes, Donovan Brown will always be D and not Rico Suave. Can we continue this conversation later? Hold on, I skipped a line. It's like the candy man has personally delivered a yummy piece at your doorstep and you don't know what to do with it. Seriously, you are straight bugging for not scooping him up. Tia coos after giving Sharice another high five to confirm their foolishness. Can we continue this conversation later? I wipe my face in my shirt, tired of the sweat dripping in my eyes and aggravated them bugging over D. I'm being rude to my company. I get up and make my way back to my house. I know you're itching to sweat it out some more, Sharice gags. I don't know how you do it. And around him, Tia adds while slapping Sharice another high five. I peer down at D, who isn't still fine, and then at our brothers who wish older girls would call them fine. What am I missing? D becoming my best friend happened seamlessly. We first met in the womb. Mom and D would kick it like crazy. In his mom said D would kick like crazy in my mom's stomach whenever she was around. Our moms did everything together, including working, shopping, and vacationing. There are plenty of pictures of us at the beach and birthday parties with Donovan right beside me. Sometimes I wonder if our moms planned on getting pregnant simultaneously to share their child's first experiences. They must have liked sharing their pregnancy the first time because our siblings are also the same age. D and I are 2 months apart. Our brothers are 5 months apart. Donovan fits more with my tomboy side. I'm into sports and anything involving athletics, including basketball, football, kickball, baseball, and racing by foot or on bikes down the street. I don't mind getting dirty, building forts in the woods, or digging trenches for war games. Most of my adventures with D and my brothers take place on the weekends since we attend different elementary schools. I love playing beauty shop with my dolls, paint my nails, and sneaking to wear my mom's makeup, which is how I bonded with Tia and Sharice. They are all about the girly stuff. Since you're making your way back over there, you might as well introduce us to Donovan, or are you going to be rude, a best friend, and keep them all to yourself? Sharice saunters over to my house without giving me a choice. Tia gallops behind her without a little too much excitement. There's only one Donovan and two of them. I've never known them to share anything, including celebrity crushes, so I'm not sure how this will go. While trying to wrap my mind around what they see in D, I attempt to run ahead to them to diffuse any drama that may arise from them fighting over him. Before I can introduce them, my mom interrupts the wannabe love connection. Kids, lunch is ready. Mom steps out from the garage into the makeshift basketball court. Hey, Tia and Sharice, what brings y'all over here? Hey, Mrs. James, Tia and Sharice sing. I was about to introduce them to Donovan and Nick, Mom, I stammer. Mom usually calls us from the kitchen window or screen door in the garage. Her voice carries, so I wonder why she's out here telling us to come in. Something is up if she came out here to get us. Maybe we can do that another time, my mom declares. Maybe y'all can hang out tomorrow. Boys, Monica, go ahead in the house and get washed up. I guess I'll see you guys later. I hunch my shoulders and slowly make my way into the house, watching everyone leave the court. And I'm going to stop right there because I want to see if anyone made any comments or had any questions. I do plan on reading the whole chapter. So thank you for joining my live. I see Arbria, you on here. I hope you're still on here. That's a former student of mine. Carrie, good seeing you. I keep saying I'm gonna make my way up to Wilmington and have not. I gotta do better because it's a beautiful place. So, no one has any questions? Accidentally pressed something. So I did try to put in there the link to buy the book if you want to buy a copy. I do not have it in the TikTok shop. I don't know how I feel about the TikTok shop, but I'll keep reading. Bye, Monica. Bye, Donovan. Sharice calls out while she slowly walks away backward. Bye, Donovan says nonchalantly, then quickly runs into the house past me. Is he nervous or just hungry? You didn't say bye to me, TJ whines to Sharice. TJ, I'm sorry. Hi, TJ. Nice shot earlier. Sharice flirts to boost his ego. She's so fake. Thank you. Thank you very much. TJ boasts while strolling to the house backward, cheesing at Sharice. If you don't hurry up and get in this house and wash up, my mom snatches my brother, pulling him by his arm into the house. Mom, she said she liked my shot. She noticed my shot. TJ continues to boast while patting his chest. Yes, she notices a lot. A little too much if you ask me, she mumbles, while still ushering us in the house. Cindy, what are you mumbling about? My Aunt Lisa inquires. Aunt Lisa is Donovan's mother. She is pouring the drinks at the counter while we enter the kitchen. I'm washing my hands in the laundry room right next to the kitchen. While I'm not in the line of sight, I'm close enough to hear my mom. The den opens to our kitchen, and there is a wall to hide anyone watching TV on the computer or eavesdropping on adult conversations like I'm doing. As a result, I don't see Dee, who I assume is on the couch watching TV. I can hear our brothers playing in the bathroom. My dad's on the back patio laughing about something, and my dad is finishing up on the grill. My mom looks around to make sure none of us are in earshot of their conversation. She looks in the den first, and I step into the pantry where she can't see me. After seeing no one, she utters, "Them fast-tailed girls." Tia and Sharice? You know that isn't nice, Cindy. Aunt Lisa is placing the cups on the kitchen table, neatly tucked into the bay window, allowing all the sunshine to brighten up the room. It seats four, and when we eat dinner there, we have a clear view of the patio and the luscious green backyard surrounded by a chain link fence. My mom rolls her eyes and gathers the plates that we will pile high with hamburgers, hot dogs, Italian sausage dogs, corn on the cob, and all the other cookout staples already placed in the middle of the table. You didn't see the look on their faces when they sashayed over here to talk to your son? They're too young to already have that look. It's like that sometimes, Aunt Lisa adds and looks back at the dads to see what they're cackling about. My homegirls have always been boy crazy. My mom detected it immediately. I can't pretend I'm not listening anymore, and I startle my mom in the process when I come out of the pantry. Mommy, you're right. T and Sharice think Donovan is cute. Weird, huh? What is weird is you hiding in my pantry. My mom clutches her imaginary pearls. You don't think my baby is cute? Aunt Lisa jokes. No. Not seeing the joke, I gag my finger and then have a seat at the table. And that's the first chapter. So I forgot I made this chapter. This chapter was actually a lot longer, and I made it shorter, given the advice of my editor. So as you can see, this is when really the original chapter 1 was supposed to introduce you to Monica realizing that Donovan has feelings for her. But what chapter now does is it pretty much introduces their relationship, the magnitude of the relationship, how long they've been friends. And this story, again, for those of you who are new, is loosely based on my childhood. Like, as I'm reading this, I'm imagining my house. Like, literally, the house that Monica is living in is definitely my house that I lived in when I was in Sumter, South Carolina. So growing up, my mom had a close friend who they were co-workers at one point, and it was to the point, and there was me and my mom were talking the other day. I think we were on our way to Sumter for something. Go to Jackson's. For those of you who live in Sumter or don't mind driving to Sumter, Jackson's Catering, that restaurant is off the chain. So we just started talking about because my preschool teacher passed away 2 weeks ago, and we were just thinking about all the people that were connected to that preschool and went to that preschool. I don't think Scott, that's the guy who Donovan is based on, went there. Nevertheless, we definitely were womb mates, and I say womb mates because we were born in the same year. Our moms worked together. At one point, you see a picture at my christening, and you see Scott's mom holding him, and then I'm in there somewhere. I can't remember where I was in the picture, because it might have been when they had all the families come in to celebrate the moment versus all the babies at the moment, because it was 3 of us who were around the same age and all our families. It was a matter of fact, I take that back. It was a lot of us who were the same age, and moms all worked together, all hung out, and it was like this big tribe. So matter of fact, I was looking at another picture of me and Scott at, I think, my 7th birthday party. It was either my 7th or my 8th birthday party. And I want to say all the people who were at the birthday party, their moms were educators or principals. All of them. So so pretty much growing up, me and Scott were best friends, always hung together. Our families went on vacation together. The only difference from real life that would happen in the book, real life, Scott does not remember this. I remember this. We had like a cute boyfriend-girlfriend ceremony where we exchanged friendship bracelets. And that was it. So from then on, in my mind, Scott was my boyfriend at one point. So I even went into middle school telling people, because everybody had a crush on Scott. Everybody had a crush on Scott. So for me to say that he was my boyfriend was bragging rights. And I never forget when someone told me at the time, and I'm pretty sure she does not remember this, she came to me one day in front of everybody, you know, I talked to Scott and he told me y'all did not go out together. And the reality is she was lying, because Scott was in Atlanta. He had moved to Atlanta with his family, I want to say around 4th grade. Unless your mama lets you call on, this didn't happen. For those of you who are young and my younger people, there was a such thing called long distance. So you were charged extra money if you called someone outside of your city. Okay? And it cost a lot. There were no cell phones. There was one landline in the house. So I'll admit, I really believe the dream that I had was loosely based on, because normally there'll be events that happen during the day now will influence my dreams. And I had ran back in contact with Scott. I can't remember the year, but I remember Joshua was like maybe 6. He might have been between the ages of 5 and 7, because I remember how little Joshua was, and we were sitting at the table eating when he came to the house. And that inspired the dream. I literally had a dream with Scott where we met at a class reunion, even though we did not graduate from the same high school. He graduated from school in Atlanta. I graduated from school in Columbia, South Carolina. But in the dream, we were at a class reunion, and it was like, hey, I've always had feelings for you. Let's be together. So I took that dream, and again, like I said at the beginning of the live or the podcast, is I took the dream, and let's start this love affair before the beginning, at the beginning. So of course I couldn't say Scott and Ryan. And then honestly, again, me and Scott did not declare our feelings for each other. We did not have a relationship in this like we have in this book right here, but we definitely see some aspects of my life in this book. So I want to say around chapter, and for those of you who are just joining the live, I just read chapter 1, which is only 6 pages. I may, if people ask, I may go ahead and read chapter 2 because it's not that much longer. But it's around chapter 2 that we discover that Donovan likes Monica, is trying to tell Monica for the first time, but she doesn't get it. But he's not very clear because he doesn't really know how to articulate it. And then in chapter 3, you meet Donovan. And that's what I love about this book. I didn't realize I did that until I did it. Most books are told, no, I won't say most, some books are told in the perspective of one person. And when you look at this title of this book, a lot of people don't think, okay, I'm looking at the title of the book, even though it's multiple characters on the front, it's only told in the perspective of one character or one narrator. Well, I'll admit with this book, the book is told in Donovan's perspective and it's told in Monica's perspective. So there have been plenty of times I had young boys come to the table and the mom's like, do you think this is something you want to read? And they're like, yeah, why not? So that's why I tell people all the time, like, don't limit this to a girl book. Like, boys, we hear Donovan's voice. You also meet his best friend, who becomes his best friend, Will. You also have a few chapters written by Nichele. She's in here, and they actually are the inspiration behind book number 3. Book number 3 is written solely for Nichele and Will and about their situation, their relationship. So when Donovan finally reveals to her, eventually, because he tried to reveal it to her before, it didn't come out right. And then what's so crazy is Monica ends up finally telling T and Sharice, you know, y'all can't come around anymore when Donovan is there, and Donovan doesn't really want y'all there. So she said, if he doesn't want us there, then obviously he wants to spend more time with you and be alone with you. She's still oblivious to what that could mean. And they finally say, he likes you. And she's like, man, please, you don't know. No, not Donovan. So chapter 3 is when you meet Donovan, you learn more about Donovan. And I want to say this is also the chapter where he let me make sure. Yeah, chapter 3 is where you definitely really hear Donovan's feelings for Monica. So what I love about this story, and it's so crazy how you write just to write sometimes, but you have no intention, which I definitely admire authors who they have certain things in mind they're trying to convey, and they make sure that the characters convey that. I'm different in the sense where whatever I write, and I'm not trying to convey anything. I'm just trying to write and make the plot, and whatever comes out of the plot, whatever lessons comes out of plot comes out of the plot. Like I'm not trying to force it. So I'm not gonna lie, I was very leery at first when I was go out and vend with the book, because I would constantly tell people it's a preteen love story. And some people kind of look at me cockeyed like, preteen love story? Like, who does that? Like, that's too much. My kids are not ready for that. Not realizing their kids are ready for that. And I truly believe that I didn't think of it this way, but I'm glad that I did it. One of the things that Taylor Simon said of Liberation is, we did a book talk at All Good Books, I want to say around July 29th. And she made the comment that, no, this was during our interviews. One of our interviews, she made the comment that when exactly do we expect kids to learn how to govern themselves in relationships? And given that we don't have a timeline, and let me take that back. in order for our kids to govern themselves properly in relationships, how are we exposing them and showing them how to govern themselves properly in a relationship? Okay. Some people say, well, I'm married. Well, we have some parent households that don't have married couples. Their parents are not married. So one thing that I'm realizing more and more, I'm glad I wrote this book because it shows our young people a way to be involved in the way to govern yourselves without compromising who you are, without doing things that you're not ready for. I just realized I look like I'm leaning in the thing, so I don't like that. So it's this one of those things where you do have your first kiss, you do have this is my first boyfriend, you do have parents who I feel like, and not all of them, it's mainly Monica's dad and Will's mom, who, like a lot of parents, assume you like somebody, y'all about to have sex. It is not everybody's thinking like that. But you also have with Donovan's mom and dad and Monica's mom, who understands because you are getting older, because you have hormones, we just need to watch you. Like, it's nothing wrong with y'all going to the movies, but y'all not going to the movies by yourself. You're 12. We need to make sure that you govern yourselves properly. This is a new space for you, and we need to make sure you know what and what not to do. So it's very interesting reading the book. I'll admit, starting this week, I'm definitely going to work on book 2. Book 2 is already written, but I need to go back and revisit it to make sure. And I started it and I really got sidetracked. I started it about a month or so ago, and I got sidetracked, but I need to go back and revisit it because I definitely need to go to my next novel and work on that, because writing wise, I know it doesn't seem like it, y'all, because I did release 3 books this year, but writing wise, I'm behind, and I got to do better. So, I'm going through to see if there's any comments. I'm looking on TikTok. I'm looking on Facebook. So yeah, that is reverse. So one of the things that I like about reverse, and I believe anybody who writes a book that potentially can be read by anyone, period, is the discussion questions. So I have like 13 discussion questions. Some people may ask, well, Brian, why did it take you so long to write this? Because I heard you say you've been writing this book since 2014. It's not that it took me so long to write it. I think at one point I wasn't motivated to finish it. And matter of fact, I take that back. I don't remember when I finished it. I don't remember exactly when I finished it. But I think the process slowed down because I could not find an editor. Initially, I wanted to self-publish. Then it was like, no, I want to go through a publishing agency. But then to go through a publishing agency, you had to have a literary agent. So finally, I started meeting people who self-published their own books. And I said, okay, so let's do that. So the editor I was initially going to work with, we started working together. I remember worked on several chapters, and then her schedule shifted significantly, and she realized I can't do this anymore, which is totally understandable. Then I linked up with another editor. I can't remember why we stopped working together. I know it wasn't me, it was her. And it might have been another schedule conflict. I want to say something was up when she was sick, or something happened where she just could not do it. And I said, if you can't do it, then I need to find someone who can do it. And then years later, ended up on someone's live. and came across someone talking about my editor. And I reached out to her. She evaluated my manuscript. Her name is Megan Joseph of Joseph Editorial Services. Linked up with her. She evaluated Reverse and gave me some good feedback. Even to the point I was mad and I wasn't feeling it. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, why? And then realized God told me, no, this is your editor. You need to go with her. So I definitely recommend, it should not take you, depending on the extent of the novel that you're writing, it may take you a year, it may take you 2 years. Then when you go through the editing process, and I'll admit the editing process with Reverse took about a year. It took about a year because there was a lot more work I had to do. Like I realized I'm dialogue heavy with my text, and she was like, you don't need all that. We need to get more into the mind of the character. They don't have to say everything. And that was one thing I had to work on, because this book, let me see. Notice the width of the original versus the new one. This is the original. This is the new one. Notice how it's much thinner. I want to say this one is like 170 pages. 169. This one, hey Naisha. This one is 137. So after we did edits, the final round of edits where the two last round of edits, the second to the last round, we took the book, we printed out a copy, and we edited up the book. Then she had me listen to, she said, find an app, and I used Speechify. And I would have the book read to me, and then I would decide, do I want to keep that? Do I want to take that out? So we had Reverse that came out probably about, I want to say Reverse's birthday is in March. I get them all mixed up because, again, y'all, I released 3 books this year. 3. Okay. I do know Heaven's Blessing came out. A Blessing for the World came out January. Reverse was supposed to come out in February, but it ended up coming out in March because I really wanted to come out in February because that's the month of love. So, fun facts that happened Reverse that I'm really excited about. Jason Reynolds, if you have not already seen the post, Jason Reynolds is a dope, famous young adult author. I tagged him on a post where I was talking about his book 24 Seconds From Now. 24 Seconds From Now is about a young boy who is about to engage in his first time with who he believes is the love of his life. He's a senior in high school, but you don't see the act. You see the emotions behind the act. You see the planning up to the act. You see the connections he's made with family and talks before the act. You see her and what she experiences and making this decision. So that's what I love about it. It's really, and it works its way backwards. Like the first scene is him in the bathroom prepping, and then it goes back to when they first met, the conversation he has with his mom. So when I did the book talk, now normally when I do a book talk, I do it right after I finish reading a book, okay? And I may not post it until months later. Matter of fact, when I checked the date of the book talk was almost back in November of last year. I just posted it like a few weeks ago. So when I did the book talk, I related it to my book Reverse, and how you have, this is Donovan's first real relationship, Monica's first real relationship, and the fact that they're able to engage in a conversation with their family about it is really something that all parents need to be able to see. Same thing with Jason Reynolds' main characters in that book. They were able to engage in conversations with family members that kind of gauge this new space they're in. So I totally forgot I made that connection, because again, I did that book talk in November. So then as I'm posting and editing the video, I'm reminded that on July 29th this year, my homegirl, Taylor Simon, she, in the midst of our book talk, relates the book to 24 Seconds From Now. And when she relates it to 24 Seconds From Now, I'm like, yeah, great minds think alike. So I immediately plug in that excerpt from her, and then I, have a whole video, and I tag him on it. And Jason Reynolds is good about it. If he likes your content and he's feeling it, he's going to repost it. He's going to tag you on it. He's going to say something about it. So this is the second time where that happened, where Jason Reynolds, the first time is when my kids were reacting to the end of Long Way Down. And I tagged him on it on Twitter, and it was Twitter at the time. It wasn't X yet. I don't think it was. And I'll never forget, he reposted it, and he got almost 1,500, if not 2,000 likes. Which, let's be honest, y'all, that's a lot of likes for me on X. Then when I told him, make sure you get a copy of my book and his book, he reposted it and said, yeah, make sure you get a copy of both books. So I'm on cloud 9. Jason Reynolds said buy my book. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie, y'all. I'm still waiting on y'all to buy the book. Like, I don't understand. Jason Reynolds told y'all to buy the book, and y'all still I feel like y'all still tripping. I need you not to do that. So then another happy moment is, and I'll admit, I'm going to do better this time going around and do a better job, because I felt like some people were not honest with me, and that is not cool. So I reached out, like Taylor Simon is one of those people who I reached out and said, I would love for you, I'm going to give you a copy of my book, and then eventually I would love for you to host a book talk. She followed through and delivered. Another young lady, she's called the SC Book Gal. Her name is Patrice, either Gimble or Grimble, but she's the SC Book Gal. She's on YouTube, she's on TikTok, she's on Facebook, but she interviews a lot of different authors, specifically, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from South Carolina. And she does podcasts. So me and her did a podcast episode earlier this year. I want to say it was like, and it might even been last year. I don't think it was 2025. It might have been 2024. But either way, I reached out to her and I said, I would love for you to read this. And if you love it, post a review. So what she would do is, I remember one weekend she had, this is what I'm doing this weekend, and she posted my book in like a pickle. It was like, those big pickles people buy from the store. It might have been sunflower seeds, but either way, she kept promoting. And then when she got my book package, she posted the picture and the video. Because what I did do is I sent people a t-shirt, and then I sent people the book. So eventually I noticed I hadn't heard from her. So I reached back out to her and I said, I'm just checking in. I just want to know what you think of the book. She said, oh my gosh, I got you. I forgot. There's a lot been going on. Don't worry about it. I got you. So I genuinely just wanted her to tell me that she liked the book. She didn't have to post a review yet. I understand how people work. I know I'm one of those people. I constantly do not read books in real time, so it will be a minute before I get to you do a review, unless you intentionally tell me, okay, this needs to be done by a certain time. Point, Tiffany Jackson released Blood in the Water. Because I was reached out by like a marketing company, I didn't take too long to read that. Like within a month of me receiving it, I read it and posted the review. So she finally posted the review, y'all, and it's like, she typed up the review, and then she also did a video. And then when she typed up the review goes on her website. And then she also put it on Goodreads. Like, I think that's my first Goodreads review. Then I know what I'm definitely going to do is I saved the links. I'm going to definitely, when I get a chance to get with my webmaster, I am going to post the review links where people can see it and click on it. Y'all, that is dope. Now, I'll admit the other people who I asked to do it, one in particular, I know is working on her doctorate. But I have not, she kind of posted it like, yeah, I got this. I got it. Not really, I read it. And then when I even inquired, when I reached out back out to her, I asked her, I said, did you really like the book? And I didn't understand her response. I also reached out to Sharon Flake, and Sharon Flake posted it when she received it. I'll admit, I did not, as much as I want her to post a review, I kind of don't, I'm not rushing it, because she is a full-time published author. Even though she just released a book back in the spring, I want to say she's working on another project. So I got you. I got it. So, and then you never know. It may be one of those things where her publication company might have said, well, you can't do such and such. I don't know. A part of me wants to reach out and say, you know, did you get a chance to read the book? What did you think about it? And I may do that in a couple weeks. I don't want to come off as I'm stalking people. Like, I'll admit, the book influencer I reached out to, I felt like I was stalking her. I didn't mean to, but I'll admit she wasn't really on social media either. So that kind of was a giveaway. She's really busy. And I kind of knew she was working on her doctorate. So it was like, but my thing is, you may not post the review immediately, but I just want to know what you thought about the book. Then I want to say it was 2 more people. One did not understand the assignment. Like, I was so mad because I gave these people books, when the reality is I realized I could have sent them a PDF, but I gave them books. And when I reached out to her to find out that you received the book, what did you think? Did you get a chance to read it? It was like, well, do you want me to put this? The person owns a bookstore, and you want me to put it in the bookstore? I said, that would be nice, but I really wanted you to do a review, because one thing I noticed that she does on her page, and I'm not gonna put her name out there like that because I'm still figuring this out. But she said, I watch her, and what she does when she gets books in her store, she talks about it. So I was hoping that she would do that with me. And I clearly did say that. I would love for you to post a review about the book if you like it. Then it was one other person, the more I'm talking about, that I realized that that person, I'm trying to remember who was the other person. I think that person just didn't get to the book yet. Because I know I did ask her, did you get a chance to read? And she was like, no, not yet. And I'll admit, my book is not a long book at all. Like, if you're one of those people, you have nothing else to do, and you have an hour or 2 to read, if not 3 at one time, you can pretty much finish my book. That's how short it is. It's not even 130 pages. Not even 130 pages. So that's what I was harping on, that, okay, it's a short read. You can knock it out just like that. So, but yeah, I was hoping y'all had some questions. I don't see any questions about the book. So, Retreat is the sequel to Reverse. It will definitely come out, I say 2026, but it may be 2027. And I say only that because it depends on how long it takes me and my editor to edit the book. So if I'm able to get my funds together the way I would like to, which is why I'm going back to work, if I get my funds together the way I need to, I'm gonna go ahead and send her the book, even though the book may not be released until later on. So, but what I want to do is go through the book first and make sure there's not things. Well, I already know there's certain things I have to change, but given the expertise and the knowledge that she gave me, the edit shouldn't take as long with this one as it did with the last one. Trying to think what else. Oh, also with this book, I incorporated poetry. So I got that idea definitely from Nikki Grimes, who, if you have ever read Bronx Masquerade, she has like the narration from the character, and then she goes into a poem by each character. I did not do a poem for each chapter, but it's certain poems. Like I'm gonna read the poem that Donovan, he wrote the first poem. And this is after his chapter 2. Chapter 3, I take that back. I wish she could see me. I see her. Dimples when she laughs, I see her. Stingy with her food, cute when rude, refusing to smile after a loss, I see her. Nikes and salmon Libby, ribbons flowing in the wind, shorts, dress or skirt cleaned up or in dirt, I see her. Braids, cornrows, Shirley Temple curls, I see her. Sweat pouring down her face while stealing bases, I see her. Walking with her head held high, not afraid to challenge any guy, I see her. Sweet as Jolly Ranchers, stuck to my heart like a now and later, just wish she would see me. And one thing I will say about this book that you definitely hear that's evident is definitely based in the 90s. I say you definitely know it's based in the 90s. If you heard me in the first chapter, for those of you not just joined my live, I read the first chapter. The first chapter, she mentions world's funniest videos. That was out. That was popping. I remember we had appointment television back in the day where you had to be there at a certain time to watch a certain television show. And world's funniest videos. Hey, Etosh. It was one of those it was one of those shows you wanted to work on. So like when she makes the comment, is Bob Saget around shooting bloopers? That is based in the 90s. So I don't know why when I write books that are loosely based on my experience, it has to be done in that time period. Like Luke Brown, which is the next novel that will definitely be released in the next year, is based in the late 90s, because that's when I went to college. That was my freshman year in college. It's my freshman year in college. 1998, 99. It was a time. It was a time. So, yeah. So, but with Reverse, even to the point that she wore, it was this bucket hat that she wore to the dance, or she wanted to wear to the dance in the book. The fact that her and her friends got into a fight, which actually happened to me in real life. It wasn't a fight, but it was an argument where we fought about who was going to get the members of Belle Biv DeVoe. And for some reason, I know I said Ronnie, but my homegirl at the time swore she said Ronnie. I said, no, you said Michael. And I don't know why you chose Michael, but I know I chose Ronnie. You can't have them. Like, these were real people who actually wanted us. Mind you, we were like in middle school when we were having this argument. So I mentioned Belle Biv DeVoe in here. I want to say there were some song references here. Yeah. Chapter 3, Donovan mentions we can jam to the latest R&B like Boyz II Men and SWV and hip hop songs. Artists like Pete Rock and CL Smooth. All of these were artists that came out in the 90s. And then he even made the comment, sometimes we sing with our parents while they play old school music like Earth, Wind, and Fire. She is my vision of love. Vision of Love was Mariah Carey. And it came out during this time period. So and then also, this is what I call a love letter to Sumter. And I'm really hoping, in getting off this live with y'all, I'm definitely going to reach out to a homeboy of mine. I'm hoping to do a book talk or book launch, not even a book launch, but really a book talk, a book signing in Sumter. To me, it makes no sense for this to be a love letter to Sumter, South Carolina, and I have not done a book talk in Sumter, South Carolina. So I've reached out to different organizations with no luck, got no contact, and then I had an idea to do it at my church, my old church in Sumter, and then someone recommended, no, I think you should do it here. So I'm hoping that comes together. Well, I know it's going to come together. It's just a matter of the timing and when it can happen. So if it happens the time I'm thinking, we're talking about October. The latest is November. And it will probably more than likely be on a Saturday where I will talk about this book along with my other books and have a book signing. So I'm really looking forward to that. My next event that's not novel related or author related is my all black author book drive and giveaway. So we are linking up with, if I wasn't on my phone, I can pull up the flyer. But it's through the City of Columbia Police, and they're having a resource drive for parents at the Busby Center off of Farrow Road. It's actually off of Busby Road, but it's off of Farrow Road. But it's a resource where parents can get resources and things to help them better their child and have a successful school year. So of course, I'm giving away books. The kids will be allowed, depending on the crowd, I give them up to 2 books. Sometimes I say 1. I have a feeling I may give them up to 2 to 3 books, for the simple fact I really am trying to start all over with my stack, because this is the longest I've housed books. And I'll say that because the last 2 events I did, I really was expecting 10 or 15 people, and it might have been like 5 or 6. And despite me giving away 3 books to each person, that still barely gave a dent, which is a blessing, because that means a lot of authors are reaching out to me and being a blessing by donating books. So that I know is my next event. So that's tomorrow, I think from 5 to 7 at the Busby Center off of Farrow Road in Columbia, South Carolina. I'll be set up there as not as a vendor, but giving away books. Then on September 20th, I will definitely be Liberation Lit. Taylor is so awesome sauce, where she's already set up as a vendor. Like, she's a vendor at Soda City every 2nd and 4th Saturday, and she will allow local authors to come in for free to sell. I've sold with her twice, and I'm definitely going to jump on that bandwagon as many times as I can. And of course, when I do, I will let y'all know. But you have Jubilee, the Jubilee Festival that is downtown. I want to say it's at the Simpkins House is what it's called. But if you look up Jubilee Festival, it is September 20th in Columbia, South Carolina. They're going to have an array of visual arts, performing arts, vendors, food. It's almost like a smaller version of Juneteenth, but it's been around longer than our Juneteenth festival in Columbia, South Carolina. It's been around for years. I know they're going to do an Angie Stone tribute. I know Tiffany J is performing. I know Cree is performing. Tam the Vibe is performing. These are all local artists who are doing the doggone thing. The amount of vendors, y'all, from books to t-shirts to jewelry to food. Oh my gosh. Like, I have to figure out, like, I'm going to have to get somebody to buy food for me that day, because you don't want to leave your spot and then you end up losing out on a sale. That's the only thing about vending at huge events. If you don't pack your lunch, you will go hungry, because you don't want to leave your spot unless you have to use the restroom. So that is on September 20th. I have an event in October, but I'm still learning the details about it. Matter of fact, I have 2 events in October. One is in Charlotte. One is in... No, I think they're both in Charlotte. I think they're both in Charlotte. I might be wrong. But one of them, the one I'm still unclear about, we're still trying to figure out what exactly is my role. I know that I'm helping her host, which I think is my first time hosting an event. But I don't know if I'm performing. I don't know how that's going to go. Hey, Whitney. And then the second event, which I can't remember which one is first. The other one is like a wellness conference. And it's going to be like massage therapy, facials, but she also wanted spoken word artists to be there. And it's like a mental health wellness event. So I jumped on that bandwagon. So I'm definitely looking forward to performing at more events. It's just a matter of trying to get paid. Recently, y'all, I love how people honor when I say how much I charge and they pay it. A young lady named, this is my last thing and I'm gonna get off. Her name is Kyra Whitmore. She owns Whitmore Accounting. If you need your taxes done for a business owner, she's definitely the person for you. So she invited me to perform at her mother's birthday party. And one thing that I like to do, and this is one of my favorite pieces to do, is when I get to interview the people who hire me about the loved one that I'm doing the poem about. This is my third time doing an event like this. The first time I did it, I personally knew the young lady. It was for her sweet 16th. So I did that for her. The second time I did it, it was two sisters. They were putting on a birthday party for their dad. So I sat on the phone and talked about their father. And then from there, I wrote a spoken word piece. And then the third time was for Miss Kyra, where her mother, I want to say her mother was turning in her 80s. I might be wrong. Looks good now. Oh my gosh, she looks good. And wanted me to write a poem for her for that. And performed it, and then she had me perform another piece. So, and now that I think about it, I kind of undercharged her. Because for me to perform, period, and for you to do a custom piece, that really should be about $3. Yeah, I'm not going to say my rate out loud. Because one thing I will do, if I know you and we're good people, I may not charge you as much if you realize I can't afford you, but I really want to work with you. If you let me sell my books at your event, then we're good to go. Well, I can't even say that. That's a slippery slope. Like I'm starting to go into another discussion that I really not plan on getting into while I'm on here. But knowing when and when not to charge, I really don't like when people volunteer to perform and you want to charge those people to sell their books, but they're performing for you for free. That I have a huge problem with. Like, I don't understand that, because when these people are volunteering their services, they should be allowed to supplement that by selling their books. I don't get it. So, and some of these places I wouldn't mind vending, like the event I'm doing in Charlotte, one of them, she admitted to me, because I'm performing for free, because she did admit they don't have a budget to pay me, but you don't have to pay to get in, and the vendor fee is only $25. I can sell 2 books, if not a book, and make my money back. So yeah, but y'all, thank you so much for joining me. So if you are watching this in the replay, please type replay in the comments. Tell me what you think. I want to do this more often. Like, I think for the next couple of weeks that I go live and do a podcast, the focus will be me and my writing, only because I still don't know how you can bring someone else on the live when it comes to YouTube. TikTok and Facebook is easy. But because I'm going live on 3 different platforms, I need y'all to see the face. And until I can get my StreamYard account running and back up, I think it's just going to be me. And I may just read my poetry. I may just read from my novels. I may read from upcoming works that I'm working on. And then probably in October is when y'all will start seeing the guests come on. So I greatly appreciate you. This live, for those of you watching on TikTok, and you just catching the tail end of this, if you go over to my YouTube page, it will be up on my YouTube page forever. If you're on Facebook, I will keep it up for about 45. I will keep it up for 24 hours. And then I will take it down, but it will forever be up on YouTube. Please, if you're not already following me, I would love for you to follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm at 309 subscribers, y'all. I'm loving it. And then trying to think, Facebook is interesting. Facebook, on my personal page, I'm up to 21,000 followers, but my business Facebook page, I might have 500. So I wish that would flip in a sense. So why my people came on, y'all came on at the last minute. So Amina and Chriso, y'all missed all the good stuff. Y'all gotta go back and watch it from the beginning. So yeah, Amina's good people. Amina's another one. She bought my picture book for her daughters, and I sent her a t-shirt, and she razzle dazzled it. It was cute. And then Chriso, that is my poetry brother, who is just, I never told you this out loud, Crystal, but I don't like performing after you. Crystal is like a fireball, but he's a positive energy fireball where he's very energetic, very positive. He memorizes all of his work. So I feel some type of way when I read my work after him. Like, I'm like, no, let me go before Crystal. And matter of fact, I don't think I ever told him this, but there was one time we were in a competition. Someone was opening their poetry. It was like a gallery or a poetry. It was like it was like her lounge where she was going to do like promoting. And yeah, I'm gonna come back to that. So Crystal, when I saw Crystal was there for the competition, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna win. I was like, but it is what it is. And that's no shade. That's not imposter syndrome. That's not, oh, Crystal, why are you down in yourself? Because he's going to be like, Ryan, now you know. I already know. But yeah, Pink Lomaine, and I'm surprised she did not, for a while, Marshalls and TJ Maxx and Home Goods carried her thermos. Like, I have a thermos I bought from Marshalls. I have like a cosmetic carrying bag where they had her logo on it. But I think something happened where they just, I know for me, it was very rare that I caught her stuff. For those who don't know, Pink Lomaine is a dope artist. Follow her on Instagram. I don't think she's really on TikTok. But the cards, I looked up on that. Like, I stocked up on those when I saw them, but I don't think they sell them anymore. So, but she's a dope artist. So, go back and watch the replay, y'all. Again, feel free to go over to my YouTube page. Please feel free to comment if you're watching the replay. I definitely reply to my comments. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know the next time I'm going to go on a podcast. Hey Bianca, I don't know the next time I'm gonna go on a podcast. Today was on a whim. So not technically, today is episode 1 of season 3. I'm so excited. So I'll admit I probably won't be bringing guests on again, like I said before, probably until October when I can get my StreamYard back up and running. Right now, I'm just going to go live. I don't know what my week is going to be like this week. So that's why I went live today. And I may go live again on Thursday. I don't know why this week is a blur for me. I do know tomorrow I have an event. My all black author book drive and giveaway. We will definitely be at an event tomorrow. So and Wednesday for me is church. So probably it'll be Thursday the next time I'll go live. I don't know if I'm gonna call that a podcast episode or I'm just gonna call that going live. So, but I will go live on these 3 platforms and we'll go from there. So I will see y'all. Stay tuned. Follow me. See what's happening. See what's going on. Thank you for joining me. Y'all have a good night.